So we are back working on the R32 Skyline. It has been probably a good week or so since I've last worked on this car, and I did some thinking, and we're going to do some testing before we rip out this engine. Essentially what I'm going to do is make sure we have spark. We know for a fact we got fuel because I can smell it, and the tips on the spark are very wet. Now we're going to double check the spark by kind of grounding it off onto the block itself, and then after that we're also going to check compression while we already have the spark plugs off and out. I do have new ones because the old ones are severely, very dark in color. So we got new ones of that. Do some testing. Hopefully, fingers crossed, and it's nothing too serious, and it's just something electronical that I'm overlooking. We have taken apart the harness. I'm gonna show you guys that real quick. But yeah, let's get into that. Now we are on the RB. We have essentially put all my new harness back in. You can see that I've torn it all apart, went through every single wire just about. Everything's looking okay for the most part. Now, I am having a sneaking suspicion it is the ECU, but it also, when I took my harness out, this ground here that goes to the ignition snapped at the little connector right here. I've since extended it, and essentially what I'm going to do is, instead of connecting it to the block itself, I'm going to connect it more to the firewall or like this strut tower here. That way it's a little bit of a better ground. So I'm going to go ahead, hook up these ignition coils real quick, see if we got spark, grab the battery as well that's been charging overnight, and fingers crossed we got something. And in about 5 minutes, it was simple as that. And this is our basic setup. We have all the spark plugs running on the valve cover here to see if we got spark in every single one. And what's also good about this is, with my fuel injectors unplugged and I turn this over, there's a chance this engine might be flooded as well. And by flooded, I mean with over-fueled. And so all of these here will essentially just evaporate the gas and kind of fix, if there is a flooding issue, kind of fix that as well. Now I do have the ground over there, and I have this ground on the ignition coil packs as well in the back as where it's normally at. So what I'm gonna do is grab the battery, connect it, and fingers crossed we have something here. We got the ECU hooked up, we got power, hopefully. Yeah, we got power. Let's see what we got here. Like I said, I'm not going to start it. I'm just going to try to pump out, see if we got spark and everything on every single cylinder. Let's see. That should give us enough of a test. Let's see what we got. Well, that's some bittersweet news right there. It is at least a start to something. So if you guys didn't see the GoPro footage, we have no spark, it seems like, whatsoever. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to test to see, I'm going to put a lead on there just to verify. We didn't see any spark coming through the spark plugs itself, through the ignition coils. Not sure 100% why we're not getting any spark. I mean, my ignition coil tester, I'm going to throw that on there real quick and see if that's any better or any different. So let's go do that real quick, and yeah, hopefully this is a simple fix than what I think it is. So what we did now is we swapped back over to the LS coils. We got the ground sitting at the same location as the other ground that we have on the strut tower, and we're going to see if this will change anything, if it'll give it spark or not, just in case those are bad or anything like that. So fingers crossed, maybe it'll be a simple fix. I'm not 100% sure. I highly doubt it, but at least then it'll give us a at least rough idea of where to look and to start from. Well, it definitely looks like we have no spark whatsoever. Even with the LS coils, they don't change whatsoever any functionality of the sparks. So what we're going to do from there is kind of see exactly what causes a no spark. Now I do know I have fuel, I can hear the pump, I've unplugged the lines, double checked my lines and everything like that. So we're going to see why we're not getting any spark, and hopefully it's a simple fix and it's not a fried ECU, because I am tired of replacing ECUs. After taking quite a break from this and working on some other projects I have around here, I had to go out to town, or my dad bought me this, so big shout out to him, appreciate that, because it's usually about an hour for anything local to get this, at least a decent one. So the old one I had, or he had, broke, so he got a new one. But this is kind of interesting. So I just bought these, which is kind of crazy. Like, I spent $30 on these already, and I think one's already bad. But if you guys listen closely, and I apologize for the background of the dogs because it is feeding time, they're a little upset. but you can hear this one clicking, right? So here's the other one. If I click it, watch it work. There's nothing. Like, nothing at all. So do I have just a bad relay? Like, what are the odds of that? Especially brand new from Nissan. But again, when I plug this one in, you can hear it. All right, I swapped over the one relay. I still have the bad one in my hand. We did connect it to the, I believe is the ignition relay. They don't really mark them, sadly, on these cars, and even if they did, I wouldn't understand a single thing of what they're saying. But hopefully the GoPro catches spark, or at least I see spark up front. Fingers crossed this works and it doesn't blow the other relay. But if it does, it's under warranty. It does suck that something like this has already went bad after just purchasing it less than 2 months ago, but it is what it is. Stuff happens. So let's try it out real quick. Let's see if I can see spark. Where is it? Now, I don't know if you guys remember before, but this cast sensor, when I spun it, you could hear the clicking of the injectors, but you couldn't hear or see that light flicker or the spark to give spark. Now, I did swap both the relays, so I swapped the relay, bad relay, with the fuel injected part, and now, when I spin this, you don't hear nothing. No clicking from the injectors, nothing. So, I think we found our issue, honestly. That's a big relief, but again, we're not 100% sure, but that's definitely a good way to start. So it's the next morning. We got back pretty late from town with that relay. I got really distracted and was kind of talking with some friends at the auto parts store. Anyway though, we did plug in the relay. We did get spark. I did not record it, sadly, so now we have officially spark back, which is an absolute amazing, like, kind of win for me. I did put it all back together. I haven't really tested anything 100%, so we got it kind of half put back together, half not. The engine bay is at least put back together, but as far as inside the cabin, it's still a little bit messy. I'm gonna show you guys around real quick, and hopefully, fingers crossed, this thing runs and drives by the end of today. So yeah, as stated, everything is somewhat put back together. Most of this side is at least put back together. That side is still a mess with the relays and everything. Usually it's a pain in the ass to kind of get it all out. So we have that still laying around, and backup ECU, and we're probably going to test the other ECU. Fingers crossed though, all of this stuff works. But as far as the engine goes, it is all put back together for the most part. Everything's tightened down. I triple checked, everything's reconnected, fuel pump, all that good stuff. Injectors. I actually am going to leave those grounds connected over here by this mount. I actually kind of like that a lot better, and it fits it a little bit more smoother. Now my mass airflow harness, you guys can see the wires are still a little bit open because I'm a little bit iffy on this. We're going to test that, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have to adjust the cast sensor, but fingers crossed this car runs. Let's go try it out. Alright, please start. Please let this be a simple issue. Alright, ECU does have power. It's hard to see it, but it does have power. Oh no. Oh. It's trying. It's trying. Oh. Hey, that's... That's something. Alright, let the cast sensor turned a little. Oh yes, you like the cast sensor turned. Yes, sir. Oh my god, that's so nice. It's high idle right now, which it's going to, but... Oh, that was happening. It is alive. That's a good thing. That is a good thing. It's good to hear it. Like I said, we're going to have to adjust that cast system. I'm going to have to plug in my computer. Hopefully get that adjusted, get the mass airflow or idle adjusted, just in case that got messed with as well. Let me go grab my computer. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear me whatsoever over the engine, but let's go grab my computer, adjust these properly, and then hopefully it'll get nice and smooth. right. Well, I just shut it off. Let's see if it'll do it again. Please, 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 please turn on. It's a little grumpy upon startup. I gotta tune it, but it does start now. That is great. I'm gonna shut it off, go grab my computer, and kind of tune this thing a little bit. Well, guys, we do have some issues right now with the Skyline. We got it all pretty much set, timing set. Throttle position mount sensor is set as well. But I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. It is throwing code 21 ignition signal circuit. Anytime I reset the ECU through data scan, it just pops up instantly. And if I reset it and start it back up again, it'll kind of stall a little bit and then do it once the code throws back up on the system. But yeah, it's kind of a bit sucky, but it's not affecting the way it works, anything like that. So it's kind of weird. And then the more weirder part about it is, apparently in my group chat, a lot of people state that they have the same exact issues when they're running R35 coils, R8 coils, or even the LS coils. So more than likely it's just aftermarket coils are going to throw that code no matter what. But nobody has stated that they have any issues with it running or driving. There might be a little bit of backfire from it, but other than that, it seems to be all right. Now, we do have to get a new oxygen sensor off of data scan. It is going like this all over the place, so more than likely we got to get a new oxygen sensor. Maybe that'll fix it. I doubt it. But for the most part, the Skyline does seem to run and drive just fine. So fingers crossed, this is at least like, it'll be fixed for at least another couple months, but we'll see. Well, guys, we made a trip out to Slammed Enough Nashville. I actually had a real good time. It wasn't terrible. It was a Sunday, so there wasn't a lot of cars there to begin with. It is what it is. I was just happy to have the R32 running and driving. That was about an hour 30 trip. Did just fine. Had no issues whatsoever. There was a couple breakup issues on the very top end, but honestly, it felt and drove way better. Now, I have noticed that my steering is very like jerky for some reason. I pulled off to the side of the road, didn't see any issues. But on our way back, and you know, it's a Skyline, we're gonna have issues. The headlight housing, yeah, the tab finally snapped off. They've been broke. They're honestly trashy anyway. So I had to pull off to the side of the road, but I was able to find the ones I've been looking for a good, since I've owned this car. Can't really show those just yet or even talk about those, but wow, I can't believe I picked them up for such a good deal too, by the way. But yeah, Skyline drove. It's crazy to think that it's just as simple as a relay that can cause it to not start. Is what it is. I overlook the small stuff. Sometimes I gotta remind myself to just take a step back from it and just, you know, work out the issues of what could cause that. Is what it is though. But yeah, good to have the car back, honestly. Lots of more work to be done to it, of course. It is a project car. This thing is a pile of bolts in my opinion, but I still love this car no matter what. But yeah, with that being said, guys, I appreciate you guys so much for watching the video, and I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.